is Sherelle and I will be preparing tacos today. So first you're going to be using, you're going to need ground beef. You're going to need to cook that on the stove. And if you're not comfortable with cooking ground beef, always ask a parent or a guardian or whoever you feel comfortable with. You're also going to need taco seasoning. You're going to need your tortillas, your bowl of cheese, your lettuce, and I have hand chopped and diced tomatoes, red tomatoes. And if you like toppings on top of your tacos, you can use chunky salsa, or you can also use sour cream. So right now what we're going to do next, we're going to brown the ground beef over the stove top, and then we'll go from there. So with the ground beef, I went ahead and I used the knife to cut it open, and then I placed the ground beef in the skillet. And what I'm going to do, I'm just going to chop the meat and make sure it cooks evenly and make sure it gets brown. That's all you have to do. It's really easy. You just keep chopping the meat up in the skillet, and then once it's fully cooked, you're going to drain it, and then I will show you that in the next clip. So now that the ground beef is ground and browned, I'm going to drain it. And when I drain my meat of its oil, you always want to have a bowl to catch the oil, because you never want the oil to go in the sink because it will clog it up. So you put your oil down, you put your bowl for your oil down, and then you're going to put your strainer over the top of it, and then you're going to dump your grease, your meat inside of the strainer so it can drain all of that fat, oil, everything that's left over from browning the meat. And you're gonna wait a couple seconds so you can make sure that all the oil is going into the bowl. And another good thing to do is, as you're cooking, it's always good to clean as you go. So always have your water ready to go so you can start throwing in your knives, your spoon, everything else when you're cooking. So after you're done cooking, you don't have a big mess. So now that the meat is drained, properly drained. And another thing with the meat, with the disposing of the oil, you never want to flush it, and you never want to put it down the sink. Like I said, what you can do is, I usually just let it cool and it will harden and it will get thick, and I typically scoop it and put it in the toilet, not the toilet, in the trash, or I just throw it outside. So there's that. Okay, you can pause that video. All right, so after I'm done draining the meat over in the sink, I'm going to put the meat back in the skillet, and I'm going to put the skillet back over the stove, and I'm going to have the stove on low so we can start seasoning our meat. So of course we're going to be using the taco seasoning, and we're going to put just a good amount. You don't have to use the whole package. It just depends on how much meat that you have. So I don't have a lot of meat, so I'm not going to use a lot of seasoning. So after that, what I'm also going to do, I'm going to add just a little bit of water so the seasoning in the meat could blend right into each other, and so the meat won't be dry, so you can get that even coat of seasoning and taste together. And then after that, you just want to mix it together, and you're going to let it sizzle. And sizzle means so it could kind of get soaked up into the meat, so it could trap all that flavor. Making a mess. Like I said, you don't want to use too much water. Because then using too much water, you just want to have water in tacos. And while it's sitting in the juices like that, all you want to do, you're just going to keep your stove on low and let it simmer for just about 5 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes. so the meat can soak all that juice up and it'll give it that flavor. So now with the meat being done and seasoned, I'm going to start making my tacos. So first, I'm going to put some meat in the center of my taco. And you don't have to put a lot. And what's also optional is you could put your tortilla inside of the microwave to warm it up. It's completely optional. Some people may not want their tortilla warmed up. All right, so now for the fun part, we're going to go ahead and start making our tacos. So what I like to do, I like to start with my lettuce first. Just put a little bit of lettuce. A little bit of cheese. A little bit of tomatoes. Okay, and all right, and now we're going to put some salsa on our taco. Now I'm going to put salsa on one taco, and then I'm going to put sour cream on another, because some people may like sour cream and no chunky, or chunky, no sour. It just depends on whatever you like. I'm just gonna put a little bit of the sour cream on this taco. Okay. And I'm just going to pour just a little bit of this chunky salsa. Okay. Now, your taco, and this is completely optional as well. You could eat it like this, just a regular taco, or you could also fold it like a burrito and eat it like that. My burritos aren't going to stay, but you know, you get the gist of what I'm saying.